Welcome to our viewers on public television here in the US and around the globe. Washington is poised for tonight's State of the Union address by President Trump. Aides say he'll call for bipartisan cooperation and unity. But Mr. Trump will deliver his primetime address to a divided Congress, one that's still smarting after a 35-day partial government shutdown over the president's call for a border wall with Mexico. For more on what we can expect tonight, the BBC's Katty Kay joined me earlier. White House aides say that this address is going to be all about comity, but given just how divided the two sides are, can anything really be achieved, do you think?
Look, I think what the president wants to do tonight is to reach out to voters in the middle with some sense of unity and bipartisanship. We'll hear that tone. It's being written into his speech at the moment. And then also appeal to his base with a tougher line on immigration and that border wall. President Trump knows that he's not going to get a television audience this big again until the 2020 re-election campaign is well underway. And so he's got that political timetable in mind. Now, juggling those two things is going to be tricky in terms of tone, and we all know, Laura, that what is said in a speech tonight on Capitol Hill can very quickly be overturned with just one tweet tomorrow morning.
Well, it can indeed. So, Katty, is this really laying out the battle lines for the 2020 election?
Yeah, I think it is. Look, there are areas where the president and the Republicans and the Democrats do agree. They could do a big deal on infrastructure, and I suspect we'll hear the president reach out to Democrats on an issue like that. The trouble is there is so little trust on the Democratic side of this president that are they willing to give him some kind of a deal that he can then take home and say, you see, look, I've managed to achieve something. The 2020 re-election campaign, in a sense, is starting right now. We've already had those Democratic candidates who have launched their bids. They're going to be sitting right in front of the president. Tonight is his big audience also to talk about what he's achieved and what he can still achieve. And of course, the spectacle of all of this, crowned by Nancy Pelosi, Laura, sitting right behind him, the Democrat who has just given him a very tough time, a tough run for his money over that government shutdown. You're right, the 2020 re-election campaign is all over this State of the Union address.
And Katty, what will you be watching for when you see Nancy Pelosi there, the symbol of divided government, watching over the president?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a kind of visual reminder in every shot, because in these States of the Unions, you have the president and then you have the two people, Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi, sitting behind him, and they're in almost every shot. It's almost a visual reminder for people of this new, tougher political landscape that President Trump now faces. I'd be surprised if she gives him much more than a cursory round of applause at the beginning. The rest of the time, expect her to sit pretty stone-faced while Vice President Mike Pence sits there cheering. That's a kind of prospect that always comes up in States of the Unions. And remember, it's not just Nancy Pelosi sitting behind him, it's all those newly elected members of the Democratic House of Representatives sitting in front of him. This is a very different State of the Union audience in that chamber than it was for him a year ago.
Katty Kay, thank you.